Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about the residential status of an individual. Just recollect what I told in yesterday's class. The residential status of an individual is not determined by the domicile or nationality of a person. It is determined by the number of days physically present in India during the previous year. That is, we calculate whether an assessee is resident or non-resident by calculating the number of days he is physically present in India. And section 6 subsection 1 provides two basic conditions whether to determine an assessee is or resident or non-resident. The first basic condition is that he was in India for a period or periods aggregating in not 182 days or more during the previous year. Or the second basic condition is he was in India for a period or periods aggregating in all 365 days or more out of 4 years immediately preceding the previous year and 60 days or more during the previous year. If a person satisfies, if an individual satisfies any one or both of the basic conditions, he is known as resident. And if a person satisfies none of the basic condition, he is known as non-resident. And if a person is resident, we again check whether he is ordinary resident or not ordinarily resident. And section 6 subsection 6 provides two additional conditions. The first one is he was in India for a period or periods aggregating in all 730 days or more out of 7 years immediately preceding the previous year. And second additional condition, he was resident in India for at least 2 years out of 10 years immediately preceding the previous year. That is, in case of additional condition, an individual must satisfy both of the additional conditions to become an ordinary resident. If he satisfies any one or none of the additional condition, he is termed as non-resident. And all this we have covered in our last session. And you know how to calculate the problems to determine whether an assessee is ordinary resident, not ordinary resident or non-resident. And today I am going to take a new topic, residential status of all other persons. You know who is person under Income Tax Act. A person includes individual, Hindu undivided family, company, a firm, association of persons or body of individuals, local authority and every artificial juridical person. And you have already seen what is the residential status of an individual. So our next topic is residential status of Hindu undivided family. Just first we have to see the residential status of Hindu undivided family. Just like an individual, Hindu undivided family can also enjoy three residential status, that is ordinary resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. These are only individual and Hindu undivided family can enjoy three residential status, ordinary resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. And all other persons, residential status of all other persons like company, firm, AOP, BOI, local authority and every artificial juridical persons can enjoy only two residential status, that is either resident or non-resident. They can enjoy only two residential status. So first one is residential status of Hindu undivided family. First we check whether the family is resident or non-resident. For the condition is that if the control and management of the Hindu undivided family is wholly or partially in India, that family is resident. If the control and management means the decision-making bodies are situated either partially or wholly in India, that family is resident family. So when it becomes non-resident, if the control and management of the family is wholly outside India, that family is non-resident. This is the first basic check. whether the family is resident or non-resident. If the control and management is partially or wholly from India, family is resident. If it is wholly outside India, it is called as it is non-resident. Okay. So if it is non-resident, it's okay. But if the family is a resident, we again check whether the Hindu undivided family is ordinary resident or not ordinarily resident, just like an individual. So for that, the subsequent condition will apply to determine whether the family is ordinary resident or not ordinarily resident. If the Karta, you already know who is Karta. Karta is the either known as Karanavar or who is the manager of the Hindu undivided family. So, if the Karta of the family satisfies both of the additional conditions which are applicable to the individual, we have already studied both of the additional conditions applicable to an individual, that family is ordinary resident. So, a resident family, again we check whether it is ordinary or non-resident, not ordinarily. If the Karta or Karanavar or manager of the family satisfies both of the additional conditions, that family is ordinary resident. What are the additional conditions? 730 days out of 7 years he must be physically present in India. And second one, he must be resident in India for at least 2 years out of 10 years. If he satisfies both of the additional conditions, that family is resident, ordinary resident family. So the second one is the Karta or the manager satisfies any one or none of the additional conditions, that family is not ordinarily resident. If the Karta satisfies any one or none of the additional conditions, that family, if he does not satisfy both of the additional conditions, he is known as, the family is known as not ordinarily resident. Next is the residential status of a company. You know, company is an artificial person created by law, then having separate legal entity and so on. The residential status of a company is something different from that of other persons. So it can be explained separately. A company is resident if it is determined on the basis of constitutional formation of a company. So a company is resident if it is an Indian company. You know what is Indian company? An Indian company is a company which is formed and registered under the Indian Companies Act 1956 or any other former act. So it's an Indian company, or the control and management of the company is wholly in India. It is wholly in India. If it is partially from India, it is not a resident company. So a company is resident if it is an Indian company, or the control and management of the company is wholly in India. So what is a non-resident company? A company is non-resident if it is a foreign company. Foreign company means which is not an Indian company, a company which is not formed and registered under the Indian Companies Act, or the management and control of the company is wholly or partially outside India. That means if the company is partially controlled from India, it is non-resident. That is the difference between other persons. Okay. To make a company resident in India, the control and management must be wholly from India. If it is partially, it is termed as non-resident company. So next is the residential status of all other persons. What are the other persons? A firm, association of persons, body of individual, then local authority and artificial juridical persons. They can enter only two residential status, either resident or non-resident. If the control and management of the person is wholly or partially in India, that person is resident. If the control and management is wholly outside India, that person is non-resident. So only company have a little bit difference. Wholly in India, then it become resident. Wholly or partially outside India, it becomes non-resident. That is applicable only in case of company. And Hindu and Indian family and all other persons have one condition is that the control and management is wholly or partially in India. That person is resident. Wholly outside India, then it becomes non-resident. So these are the residential status of persons. Okay.
Done.
Now let's work out one problem on residential status of an individual. We know after about 30 years stay in India, returned to America on January 29, 2017. The date, month and the year is very important when calculating the residential status problem. He returns to India in June 2019 to join an American company as its overseas branch manager. Determine his residential status. Only this information is given and we have to check whether he is resident or non-resident. So before starting the problem, first we have to mention our previous year. Previous year 1 for 2019 to 31 3 2020. This is the first basic factor you have to mention before starting the answer. Okay, then count whether he is physically present in India during this previous year. When he returns, he was 30 years continuous stay in India. He had 30 years of continuous stay in India and he just left India to America only during the year 2017. That means before 2017 he was in India. Okay, that is very important for calculating ordinary or not ordinary resident. The second is he returned to India in June 2019. So you have to check our previous year starts in April. Whether he is in India at that time. No. Then April he was not here. May. No. Then June. June he returned. So during the previous year he was in India for June. 30 days. I have already taught you how to calculate the number of days in each month. Okay. You start from January 31, February below 31, then March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November and December. All these top portion months have 31 days and all the down portion months has 30 days except February. And in February during the leap year 29 days and all other years, normal years 28 days. That you have to remind. Okay, so during June he is completely, does not mention the date, only said he returns to India in June. So we assume that he came on June 1st itself. Okay, so June 30 days, July 31, August 31, September 30, October 31, November 30, December 31, January 31, February 2020. Is it a leap year or not? 2020 leap year? Yes, leap year. So have 29 days. Then March 31. So the total number of days he is physically present in India for okay. He was in India for a period of 305 days during the previous year. June to March. 305 days during the previous year. Our first basic condition is that. What is the first basic condition?
One place.
Basic. 182 days during previous year. Second basic condition, 365 out of 4 years preceding the previous year and 60 days during the previous year. Then additional conditions, 730 days out of 7 years. Second one, 2 years out of 10 years. He was a resident. These are the basic and additional conditions. So he satisfies the first basic condition, at least 182 days. He was in India for 305. So he is resident. Then second condition, then you have to check whether he is ordinary resident or not ordinarily resident. That is very simple. He left India for the first time in 2017. Okay. Before that, he was in India for a long 30 years. Before 2017, he was in India for 30 years. That means he was in India for 7 years, 30 days out of 7 years, 2 years out of 2. He satisfies both of the additional conditions. So his residential status is resident and ordinary resident. Resident and ordinary resident. That 7 years before 2019-20 means 18, 17, 17, 18, then 16 to 2010. All these years he has completely in India. So he satisfies both of the additional conditions. He is resident and ordinary resident. And he had to work out more problems on residential status of an individual. You can expect it for 4 marks question for university. Okay, thank you.